Can you believe it? It's week 10 already. Welcome to week 10 Wide Right CFB. I'm your host, Coach Cass. Today, our first panelist. You know him as Power Show Jude, but he's from the West Coast. He covers the West Coast like no other. He's an expert on the Trojans. That's USC football. Let's bring him on. Cool. Jude Santa Cruz. What's going on, Jude?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Oh man. I got a new outro. I'm just gonna drop it tonight, right before we leave. I'm gonna hit it.
Oh man. Can't
New
wait.
outro. I'll do my regular one too, but new outro. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the reaction is. So we'll be joined by a full panel tonight, I think. Lindsay should be here at some point. Hunter, to be determined. Christian, I'm not sure. We'll see. He was kind of nervous, and he's also at school, so it's only so much you can do. Well, there's been a lot of big stuff going on this week. I mean, we got 2 top 25 polls. We got the AP top 25, and then we got the CFP top 25. So we're going to debut both of them. Let's go ahead and let's kick on the AP top 25. We see Georgia and Ohio State are 1 and 2, but there's a new tie for number 2. Are there ties in football, Jude? Only in pro football, right? That's why we like college football, because there's no ties in college football, is there?
Yeah, not anymore.
No ties, no sir. We don't tie in this sport. Yeah, a lot of new look here. But what's even crazier is this CFP top 25. I'm like, it's nuts. Tennessee's the number 1 team in the land, and that's what we're going by until proven otherwise. So
that's the one that matters.
So if Georgia beats Tennessee, is that really an upset? Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. We have picks tonight. Jude knows who he's picking. I know who I'm picking. Lindsay knows who he's picking. Hunter knows who he's picking, but y'all don't know who we're picking. So you're going to find out here in just a few minutes. Let's hop on some comments. Let's say hi to Diabolical 58. John, thanks for joining us. Pat Paulson. True American Pat Paulson. Showing up.
What's up, Tom? What's up, Pat? How you guys doing today?
He said, I have not time for games since my mom's NASCAR edition Monte Carlo caught fire. All right. Well, as soon as a couple other folks join us in the chat, we'll dive a little deeper. Why don't we start now? You want to look at the CFP top 25 real quick, Jude?
Yeah, man. That's the one that matters. That's the one that determines the playoff.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I see a salute to service academies. We got picks and all kinds of stuff. Okay, here y'all ready for it? Hold on. I'll do this. We'll change the title real quick, and now we'll enter. Boom, right there. Look at that. Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, Alabama, TCU. It looks kind of like the AP top 25. Oregon, USC, LSU, Ole Miss, UCLA, K-State, Utah, Penn State. This looks ish normal. We get back here and it starts to look kind of goofy. We got Oak State, Tulane, Syracuse, Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Oregon State, Texas in the top 25. They didn't play last week. How did they make the damn top 25? And UCF. So Gus Malzahn 2.0 got canned from Auburn this week. So Gus Malzahn 1.0 still got a job at UCF. All right. Our next guest. See, you got me acting all goofy. Our next panelist. He's the beast from the East. He's the assistant to the president of the Doug Flutie fan club. He was missing in action last week, but he's here tonight. Please welcome Lindsay Coyle.
Good evening, everyone.
I see they finally took the oxygen mask off today, huh?
It took someone took it out of me for a few days.
All right, Lindsay, the teens of viewers tonight are, there's 3 of them, but they're all saying hi. So, look, Bryce Birkenstein, thanks for joining us, Bryce. I appreciate that.
How's your Evan, Bryce?
Is that a damn good motor?
With a damn good motor.
What's going on, Lindsay? How are you doing?
Who?
Lindsay, you?
Oh, me. I'm all right. I'm still I'm not 100% yet, but I'm good enough to get back at things and start getting my my butt off the couch and get active again. Just took it out of me. Had a fever for a day or two and just worn out.
Hey, Lindsay, Cass always introduces you as the assistant to the president of the Doug Flutie fan club. Well, I think I know who the president of the Lindsay Coyle Tools fan club is, and it might be Mark from Mid-Atlantic Tools.
Is he sucking up to me again?
No, he shouts you out a lot, though, man. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He's I enjoy knowing him. He's I like how he likes sharing what he knows, what he does. He's one of those guys where everyone can just learn from him. And yeah, I think he's got a really good outlook on things, and I really like his attitude.
That's awesome. Yeah, he is a good guy from what I know. The little I've talked to him, I mean, I've seen him in chats mostly, and I think I've seen him on a couple of live streams. But once he put his videos out there, I enjoy his work. I enjoy his videos.
Yeah, I do too. It's always good to see what people are doing, and for some weird reason in this world, there's always people who like to keep secrets. Somebody like they think that they're threatened or something if they share it. He's one of those guys that freely shares what he knows and what he does, and I like that about him because he likes to help other people learn, and I get a lot out of the stuff he posts on YouTube when we have person-to-person conversations. I get a lot out of what he does. I was bummed out because this past year he went to one of the tool shows and I did not go, and he's like, "Oh man, we got to meet up." I'm like, "I'd love to, but I couldn't afford to go this year, so unfortunately we couldn't meet in person. But I look forward to doing that maybe next year."
Lindsay, you have a video with over 500,000 views. You can afford to go.
I do. I didn't know that. Did it get that many?
I think it's in the 600,000 range, isn't it?
Really?
I mean, that's why we bring you on the show. It's not because of your football acumen.
My star power.
Your star power is tremendous. All right, back to football, guys. All right, back to football. Or stroking Lindsay's ego. You've seen the AP Top 25. You've seen the CFP Top 25. Let's get to some news of the week. Are y'all ready for some news?
Absolutely.
And guess what? I deleted it. Are you kidding me? I did, didn't I? All right. So the big news this week, Brian Harson's out at Auburn. He was fired on Monday morning. No surprise. You can't lose that many games. Auburn's in the Deion Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. They want Deion or Lane Kiffin as bad as possible. All right. So I don't know if I want either one of those guys if I'm Auburn. I'm not sure who the right fit is. What do y'all think on that one?
I don't think Deion's proven enough being at the school that he's at. Yeah, he's doing some winning, but he's not playing the competition that a coach like Lane Kiffin has proven that he's able to win. I mean, he's winning. Kiffin's winning in the SEC. That's his resume right there. 10-2 last year. So far, I think 7 or 8-1 this year in the SEC. That resume speaks for itself. Deion, as much as I'm a primetime fan, and I hope he does well, and I'll root for him anywhere he goes, I think that the smarter choice would be Kiff. But I'm actually hoping Kiff stays at Ole Miss because I can see myself being a closet Ole Miss fan. I don't think I could. I don't know about that War Eagle stuff.
Lindsay? Anything?
Yeah, you're going to have to put together an extremely attractive offering to get somebody to leave where they are unless they're being ousted themselves. So, if they're not able to do that, then they're just going to have to pick from whoever's available. I don't know what the upgrades in the area are, given what the availability pool is right now. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds because I don't know that there's really someone ready for the picking right now, if you know what I mean.
So is Auburn a top tier job? If we're looking at the teams coming into the SEC, and then the possible, like the word on the street or the rumor mill, is that the SEC is going to exponentially grow, and we're going to have these super conferences. Is Auburn that attractive of a job? It would have to be a lot of money, like Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher type of money. But do you want to invest that into a coach you don't know is a known commodity? So, all right. Other news: Michigan State has to suspend 4 more players. I think it's 8 total players for they're calling a scrum in the tunnel. It looked like an assault more than anything else. Jim Harbaugh expects criminal charges to be pressed against the perpetrators of this. you leave your talking on the field, right? You know, you do your talking with your play. Once the game's over, you shut your mouth, win, lose, or draw. You win, great. Be a good winner, walk on. If you lose, great. Be a good loser. Don't be a sore loser. You can be mad, but you remember the person that lost the game is you, not the other team. You know, they beat you because you allowed them to. But going in the tunnel afterwards and then a bunch of guys that's beating down just a couple of guys, come on, seriously. Let's be smart about this. Now you're going to miss the rest of the season because you acted like a knucklehead. Your team's already in turmoil. This hurts. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
It would have been bad enough if there was just some pushing, shoving, some trash talking, but you had a player remove his helmet and start striking another player with it who was not helmeted. That's assault. And I don't care what context you are to frame that in. That's wrong, and there should be legal charges filed against that guy who did that. And, you know, I don't know how much video there was that wasn't released. I didn't see but a couple of different clips from that. I don't know how many people in there trying to just pull people away, trying to defend anyone else, but you're absolutely right. Once the game's over, the game's over. And I hope to see that there's some strong disciplinary action taken, because you can choose your actions, but you cannot choose your consequences in this world. And consequences on this need to be swift, and they need to be healthy in order for that to set a strong example to anyone else who wants to do something like that.
No, Lindsay's 100% right, man. And I like how he said it. You can choose your actions, but you can't choose your consequences. And these, they're not kids. I mean, they're adults. You know, they're young adults, but they're adults nonetheless. Their actions deserve consequences. Absolutely. Rest of the year suspension, I don't even think that suits them. I think they should be expelled from school, especially the kid who took off his helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've played sports. Jude's played sports. I'm sure Lindsay played sports as well. The whole deal is when the game's over, it's respect, right? It's like they had this term in coaching is called roots. You respect opponents, officials, teammates in the sport, right? Well, this is part of the roots. You got to respect the sport. And this is disrespecting the sport, because when you respect the sport, it means you respect the opponents, right? You respect the officials, you respect your teammates, and you respect the sport. Now you let down 3 of the 4 I've mentioned here, right? You let down your teammates, you let down the sport, and you let down the opponents because you acted like an idiot. No matter what they say, you got to be an adult. These are all young men, right? They're not kids, you know, like they may seem like they're kids, but they're young men. And they have a great responsibility being in the position they are. So whatever happens, that's, you know, whatever the school decides, whatever the NCAA decides, whatever the county and the state decide in that case, you know what? I'm behind it 100%, because they took those actions into their own hands. There's a bigger microscope on these guys because they're athletes in the position they're in. So there you go. All right, some other news. Georgia linebacker Smith is out with a torn pec for the rest of the season. Does this impact a potentially, you know, game of the week by our standards?
Man, if losing a star player is never good. If anybody,
Nolan Smith. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I was struggling with his first name.
Let Lindsay go first. I got a bunch of noise in the background right
now. It was Nolan Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, I is going to have an impact. Just how big, we don't yet know, obviously. If they're good at filling in positions based on the depth of their bench, they should be able to cover it pretty well. But it never is easy to lose a player of that caliber, no matter how deep your bench is. And maybe they can shift their game plan a little bit to cover for that. Maybe they can bring in some other bench players who can cover for it. Remains to be seen. But you know, again, it depends on the depth chart.
Yep. All right. Judy, you ready to answer? Or you wanna go on to the next one?
Yeah, I'll just throw this in. If any school is prepared to have to go to their bench, it'd be a school like Georgia, you know, Alabama, you know, big schools like that. They've got lots of depth, so they can probably absorb a loss like that more than some other schools. But yeah, it always sucks when you lose a star player.
All right, and finally, I think, you know, it's some big news, but is it the biggest news? Tennessee pole vaults, jumps, skyrockets over Ohio State and Georgia to become the new number one in the college football playoff. Now, we've all seen the formula for college football playoff. It has something to do with your opponent's record, your record, strength of schedule, all that goes into it. Are we really surprised after Tennessee's beaten a number one Alabama team and a top 20 ranked Kentucky team and played as well as they played the entire season?
Not with that offense. They've proven they can score on anyone by taking it to Alabama, and until they're stopped, and I'll wait till we get to predictions. I'm not going to give any predictions yet. But keep it. If you want to hear my prediction on that game, stay tuned. But until they're proven that they can be stopped, I don't think they're going to lose any shootouts. But you never know who shows that characteristic, or who's assist wide receivers coach or defensive backs coach finds a weakness and every team has that one thing that'll beat them. Is someone going to find that? Time will tell.
All right. And then finally, something we should have mentioned last week, and we didn't, and last week was kind of a discombobulation. I guess it was San Jose State. They had a nice tribute to their fallen teammate. They all went and gathered in his number on the field. There's a photo of it on social media. I suggest everybody goes out and checks it out. It's a good tribute to him. Unfortunately, we didn't cover it like we should have. But, I just wanted to bring it up. Drew and I talked about it in the back stream after Saturday's live stream. We said, man, we should have done this. So that's our 2 cents there on that. So, all right, we're ready to get on to some regular football stuff. Are you ready for some football? Oh, wait, I think it's pro football, isn't it?
That's pro football, isn't it? Isn't that Carrie Underwood? Are you ready for some football?
Well, it's Hank Williams Jr. But we might as well move into. I want to wait on the Salute the Service Academies until Hunter gets here. So let's hop on over to my favorite segment, Jude's favorite segment, and probably Lindsay's least favorite segment. We're going to Lindsay's lockdowns. All right, Lindsay, make us some money. Make us some money.
Well, I think the contenders are going to be pretty obvious this week. I'm going to be looking at the big three contenders will be Clemson, Michigan, and UCLA. Clemson's going to take on Notre Dame, who's unranked. Clemson comes in ranked at number 5. And I think that Clemson just has a better overall game. I think they're better in every aspect than Notre Dame is. I'm going to see Clemson winning this one 34-24. Michigan comes in ranked number 4. They're up against an unranked Rutgers, which should be fairly lopsided. And Rutgers isn't going to have anything to bring to the table. That's going to
Lindsay, I think that one's going to be unfairly lopsided.
Oh, indeed, Will. I'm going to give the win to Michigan on this one, 35-17. And UCLA is ranked number 10, and they're going to play a woefully unranked Arizona. I see UCLA winning this one 42-24.
Nice.
All right. In the pretenders section of things, it's all unranked teams that are up against some pretty staunch ranked teams this week. California is going to lose to USC, who comes in ranked number 9. The score on that one's going to be 35-24.
You called it. You knew I was going to.
Is there something I need to know about?
Oh.
Yeah, every time we talk about SC,
Oh, okay.
Cass told me you jumped right at it. That was awesome.
Hey, at least it wasn't my upset of the week. Arizona's going to lose to Utah, who's coming in ranked number 12.
That's not an upset.
No, I know. No, the upset's from there. 24-21, I think is closer than we might think on that one. And finally, poor Arizona State is coming into play UCLA, who's ranked number 10. And that one's going to be a 35-17 affair. Now,
Nice.
here's where it gets interesting. I was doing some studying to see what I thought the upset of the week would be. And I saw what I think is a pretty what's going to wind up being a glaring flaw in Kansas State when they're playing Texas. And there's a question mark happening at their quarterback position. They don't yet know who's going to start. They might platoon the quarterbacks or not. We don't know yet. And I think that is going to be their downfall to a rather strong, although unranked, Texas Longhorns team. I'm going to pick Texas to win this one in a close one, 35-31.
Al contraire, mon frere. According to the CFP Top 25, Texas is number 24.
That's true. That is true. Not the AP poll. So there's my contenders, pretenders, and my upset of the week.
All
Do you
right.
want to talk about Heisman watch, games of the week? What would you like to do next?
Let's do game of the week. But this is Lindsay's game of the week. Jude and I may choose a different game of the week. You just never know.
I've got a game of the week, and then I have an honorary mention because I think there's going to be two very
Let's do
good
the
games.
honorary mention first because we all
Honorary
know who the
mention.
game of the week is going to be.
You do yourself a favor and watch the Wake Forest NC State game. Very close in the rankings. Wake Forest is ranked number 20, NC State number 21. What's going to make the difference in this game is Wake Forest has a more lethal defense. And I look for them to keep NC State at bay and they have a healthy win, 38-17. So of course, the main attraction this week, everyone is talking about, is going to be Tennessee and Georgia. And when I went back and forth wondering who I thought was going to win this game, looking at what each team was going to bring to the table, I think that I'm going to give the edge to Georgia because Tennessee does not have the pass defense that is going to keep Georgia at bay because Tennessee is ranked 127th nationally in passing yards allowed. So I see that as being their downfall against Georgia. I'm going to give the win to Georgia 42-35.
All right. Are y'all ready for another panelist to join us?
Bring it on.
He's our expert on college football. He knows the stuff that only the coaches know. Please welcome to the stream, my son, Hunter. What's going on, bud?
What's up?
What's up, Hunter?
Not much.
All right.
How you doing, Lindsay?
We just got done with Lindsay's game of the week. Now we're going to get to Lindsay's game of the WEAK, game of the week. And, if your guy smells on, Lindsay's saying you suck. All right. Lindsay, hit us with it.
In the race to the bottom this week, we're going to look at UCF ranked 25 against an unranked Memphis. And I think Memphis is going to win this one because UCF doesn't have the defense to stop Memphis's running game. And I think they're going to have it all over the ground on UCF this week. So I'm going to give Memphis the win 28-24.
All right. So let's hop on. We appreciate Lindsay's lockdowns. Usually Lindsay's not here this long, so it's going to be a real treat to have him the whole stream, or almost the whole stream. We'll see what his wind is like. But
yeah, if I want to face down to the desk in another 15 minutes, just go on without me. Don't worry about it.
Okay. We're just going to laugh at you.
Drop out of the frame.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go to my favorite segment of every week, and that's the salute to the service academies. And we got some doozies this week. We have Air Force versus Army at Choctaw Stadium in Dallas. Now, if anybody doesn't know what Choctaw Stadium is, that's where the Rangers used to play. I think it was called Globe Life or some goofy name like that. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to go see some really good football, Air Force versus Army, it's a big deal. If Hunter and I could make it, we probably would go. So
I consider it a neutral site game?
Yep. Well, I mean, Army's in West Point, and Air Force is in Colorado Springs.
Right? Yeah.
So this is actually a 10:30 game on CBS, 10:30 Central Time. So you early risers, Jude's probably gonna be asleep whenever this game kicks off. He's gonna be counting sheep or, victories. All right, and then our next game we have yards. Well, let's go over it. Hunter, what do you think about this Army versus Air Force game, or Air Force versus Army at Choctaw Stadium in beautiful Dallas, Texas? And really, I think it's Arlington. But anyways.
Beautiful. I guess I'll roll I guess I will roll the Air Force. They look like the best team in the service academies of all the service academies this year. They beat Navy. They really held down Navy's run game for most of the game. It took Navy actually throwing the ball to make it a competition. These games between the service academies are notoriously low scoring. But I have Air Force putting up 28 and Army putting up 21. I think Army is going to find a little bit of run game. And I think Air Force has the better run game in general anyway. They had the better offense. They had the best triple option quarterback this year. So it looks like this is Air Force's game to lose. So I'll roll with Air Force 28, Army 21. But it should still be a good game. Last possession type stuff.
All right, Jude, Lindsay, what do y'all have in this game? Tell me, what are y'all looking for here?
I think it'll be a close game. Air Force does seem to be the strongest team out of the three academies this year. And I can see 24-17, 28-21, just like Hunter would say. He's probably right on. The spread that he put out is probably dead on. I can see very who has the ball last kind of game. And I think all I did was repeat everything that Hunter just said. But yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of throw me on that same pile as you. I'm going to say a 7-point spread. The under will be 40. Total for the game. I'd give it to Air Force.
All right. Next big game of the weekend. We have the Naval Academy traveling to the Queen City. It's not the Queen City. What do they call it? It doesn't matter. Cincinnati.
No.
Yeah.
No, Charm City's
Cincinnati.
Baltimore.
We're not going to lie. Let's not lie to ourselves. Cincinnati. It's not that great of a place. I've been there. All right. So does the Naval Academy, do they steam into Cincinnati? Get it? Cincinnati? All right. They steam into Cincinnati and hand the Bearcats an embarrassing loss at home. The Naval Academy's due for a win. They are due for a win. Coach Ken's due for a win. Every time I think he's out, that he shows up and he just does something he shouldn't. Jude, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, they're due for a win, but I don't see it coming at Cincinnati. The Cincinnati's just too well-rounded. I'm not saying that the Naval Academy is not well-rounded, but Cincinnati is just outclasses them in athletes. And no matter how well coached the academy is, sometimes you just can't overcome, that much weight and that much height and that much speed. It's just hard to do. So I think Cincinnati's going to win this game, probably by 2 touchdowns.
All right, Lindsay, what do you think on this one?
I agree. Cincinnati's got the better team overall. I don't see this as being much of a challenge for them. And I'd say they might even win by at least 2 touchdowns on this one. The midshipmen just are not really putting it together that well this year. And when you go into Cincinnati and play a team with a healthy winning record, you're going to come out on the losing end of this one. So I'd say maybe 42-24 is a score on this one.
All right, Hunter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Lindsay. I like Navy. It's just they don't have the team this year to go and pull an upset against Cincinnati. It doesn't look like. They could. It's possible, but I don't see it. It would have to be the best game that they've played in a while, and they're going to be without Tay Lavatai as far as I know. So. Gosh, it's hard for me to say Navy's going to win. So I'm going to have to roll Cincinnati 28, Navy 14. I think Navy's defense keeps a not very high scoring Cincinnati offense in the first place. I think they keep them somewhat in check. I just don't think that the Navy offense without their starting quarterback is going to do enough to make the difference.
All right. So let's hop down to D3, Division 3. And we have the Coast Guard Academy, who's not going to lose this week, I can promise you. They're resting up. They're getting ready for their epic showdown with the Merchant Marine Academy. But now that we bring up the Merchant Marine Academy, the Merchant Marine Academy is hosting, and I got it wrong. I put Coast Guard Academy. I think it's Merchant Marine Academy. Let me check and make sure on this real quick. Hold on just a second. I have it in. They're taking on WPI, and if anybody knows what WPI is, Lindsay should know this.
Worcester Polytechnic Institute? And
Man,
Worcester,
pulled it right out of the air. He snatched it. He's just like, wow.
They have a
Worcester
football team?
Mass.
I didn't know they did
Worcester
sports
Mass.
there. It's like a
Yeah.
nerd college.
Well, so is MIT.
I know.
But I like how you're like, I know this. Bring it to me.
I never thought I'd hear WPI and sports mentioned in the same sentence.
Oh man,
They're an
Let's see.
outstanding vocational school. They're top tier for that stuff. Bottom rung for sports.
I have to make it. So they're taking on the Coast Guard Academy, who is getting some rest. And this is what happens when you do this at midnight. Jude and I were talking last night when I actually edited this. So my bad, guys. My bad. I'm telling you the wrong stuff. I'm not gonna do that again. We're gonna make a little adjustment. All right. So I have no idea who's gonna win this game. I'm gonna go with the Merchant Marine Academy. I'm gonna go with the Coast Guard Academy. They have to win at some point, right? So
This is the game for them.
You say that.
let me look real quick. I'm going to tell you what WPI football's record is.
Like lifetime?
Well, no, because it's probably not good.
It's probably not good normally. A bunch of no offense, but I don't think mechanics make very good football players past a certain point.
They're not mechanics, son. They're nerds. They're dorks.
Well, Lindsay said that they're vocational, you know?
Oh.
Like plumbers, I guess.
I think it's more like sciences and stuff like that. It's not really. Well, it's a technical vocational school. It's
Is it a school full of Endiotech guys?
So, all right. So when I go to look at WPI, we are really falling off of the cliff here. So I'm looking at WPI's football schedule. WPI is actually they beat a team. There's more than one school in Worcester.
more than one college.
Yeah,
I don't know. What's the other one?
Worcester State. How do you say that?
Worcester, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Worcester.
So they beat Worcester State 58-21.
I thought that was a fishing village.
Then they lost to a team.
Gloucester is the fishing village.
Oh, Gloucester is the fishing village.
They're both like old British names, which is why they're pronounced way different than they're spelled.
So do we use the ER or is it an A on the end?
No, if you're from there, you don't use it at all. It's Worcester or Gloucester. If you're from there. If you're not from there, it's Worcester and Gloucester. But
dude, you said that. You could have been in the perfect storm right now the way you said that.
Mark Wahlberg and I, we go way back.
I love it.
Yeah.
Marky from the pack.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
All right, so WPI, they're 3-5 overall. They're 1-3 in conference. They beat Worcester State. They lost to Endicott. They lost to I don't even know how the hell you say this name. Rensselaer.
Is it followed by the words high school?
No. They beat Montclair State. They lost to the Merchant Marine Academy 41-14. They lost to Catholic in really a tight game. Remember, Catholic has beaten both the Merchant Marine Academy and the Coast Guard Academy. And they got drubbed by Springfield 45-7. And they got a victory last week versus Norwich. Now,
Norwich was a no-show, so
yeah.
the only way to go.
They beat Norwich 20-15. So this weekend they take on the Coast Guard Academy. Next weekend we have a battle of the brains here. We have WPI versus MIT. Smart on smart, and they don't even have to travel that far. I mean, I'm assuming I've been to Massachusetts, but I just don't remember like spatial relations. I'm assuming it's probably pretty close.
It's about 45 minutes away.
Oh man, the drive so horrible.
You just jump on the Mass Pike.
Mass Pike. Is there a toll on that?
Yeah.
Do they need to bring extra change for the bus? What do you do when you're in a bus on a toll road on the Mass Pike? Do you stop with like a bucket of nickels and you're like dumping them out the window?
The last time I was on the Pike, you needed coins. I don't know what it's like these days. It's been a long time since I've been down that stretch of road.
All right. So the show has gone completely off the rails, which is fine by me. We're having fun. I think Hunter's having fun. Hunter actually doesn't look like he's having fun. All right, son, you ready to get on to Hunter's takes here?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
We were a
Hit
little
me
bit
with some
tight today,
Hunter's
so-
hard takes here.
All right, so I'll try to run through this real quick. So my contenders of the week, I have Illinois beating Michigan State 24 to a whole lot of nothing. Michigan State took a drubbing from Michigan. They fought hard throughout the game, but 29-7 is a drubbing.
Well, it looks
They
like they
got
left
into a
some on the
fist fight
field.
in the locker room.
Yeah, it looks like they left a little on the
Yeah.
field.
So I think Illinois is going to come in here and beat Michigan State 24 to nothing. I think Michigan State's season is done, and I think that $90 million looks really silly right now. I have Baylor going to the Palace on the Prairie and taking down the Sooners 28-14. Yes, Oklahoma's set up a string of wins, but I think Baylor has too. I think Baylor's the better team. They have a defense that can stop Baylor's offense, a la Texas. And other teams have stopped Oklahoma's offense this year. So I think Baylor comes in, wins 28-14. A little bit more of a defensive struggle for a points-heavy Big 12. Then I have TCU going to Texas Tech and beating the Red Raiders 49-14. I think TCU's offense is going to put the Texas Tech offense in a position where it has to take a bunch of risks. And I think that Sonny Dykes has his team ready to go. If you know the history behind this, Sonny Dykes is the son of the legendary Texas Tech coach Spike Dykes. And, he's passed over twice by Texas Tech for coach hirings when they hired Cliff Kingsbury and then Joey McGuire. Yeah. And so I think that he's going to take it to the Red Raiders, and he's going to drop it about as many points as he can muster on top of their heads. On to the pretenders. I have Penn State losing to Indiana 28-31. I think Penn State season is a little rickety at this point. Now, of course, they could win this game. I have no doubt that they can. And really, it's 50-50, but I just think Indiana, just for some reason, something calling to me that they're going to upset the Nittany Lions. My next pretender is Oklahoma State, who I have going down to Kansas, 24-21. I think that loss by Oklahoma State and the question marks around Spencer Sanders is going to play this week. I think that Kansas can take advantage of that and pull out a win. I wouldn't be surprised if both my upset picks so far turn out to be wins for the favored team. But it's a little bit fun to play pretend. And then Syracuse going down to Pitt 17-31. I think Pitt has a extremely efficient run game. Syracuse has struggled now 2 weeks in a row against a good run game. And if Pitt's defense shows up, if the first half defense against North Carolina shows up in this game against Syracuse, I think that they go and keep Sean Tucker out of the game. And I think Syracuse's losing streak extends to 3, and the dream season starts turning into a little bit more of a nightmare. Now, for my upset of the week, a game that I think could be really fun and have some massive implications for a whole lot of teams and for the CFP picture, I have the Crimson Tide going into Baton Rouge and losing to the Tigers 45-42 in a game and what seems like another game for the ages out of the SEC. And this is, I think, the game where you see Jaden Daniels assert himself in the Heisman run. The LSU Tigers defense has played better every week. Their offense has been more efficient every week. They've run the ball better every week. And, everyone talks about like how Tennessee threw the ball over Alabama. The key to that was that Tennessee was able to run the ball on Alabama first. Alabama had to pull a safety into the box to stop the run game, and that's what opened up the pass so much. LSU can run the ball well enough to pull that safety in. If Jaden Daniels plays well enough to expose that, those one-on-one matchups that are going to happen, like Kayshon Boutte and I can't remember other wide receivers from LSU, but they're all good. They're played at LSU. So if Jaden Daniels can run the pass game efficiently and to expose those one-on-one matchups, LSU will win this game 45-42. And then for my game of the week, this is everyone's game of the week. It's, of course, Tennessee going to Athens, Georgia to take on the Dogs. And so like I was keying on with Tennessee running the ball, right? Tennessee runs the ball more than I think most people expect, but they also, for a play-by-play basis, run the ball more than they throw the ball because the system they run is about running to set up the pass. It's called veer and shoot. and I could go into the intricacies of it all day long. But essentially, it's an RPO-heavy system, the first letter in that R being run. Not quarterback run, but running back run. So it's, does the, if Georgia can stop the run, and by if, I mean I think Georgia's going to stop the run, you're going to force Tennessee to throw the ball more. And Georgia has the defensive backs to make that a problem. They also have the pass rushers to make that a problem. So if you can go and slow down this offense and you make it miss a couple drives where they don't have sustained drives where they're not driving down the field 10, 15 plays of run, pass, 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 run, pass, 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 and it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, a tempo offense starts to really look like a problem, right? And you don't let your defense get gassed out because Georgia's offense is a sustained drive offense. Now, they actually throw the ball more per game than Tennessee does. Surprising stat there, too. But, the throw to tight ends, it's that tight end game. It's 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 yard, plays. They're not, big explosive plays, but they matriculate down the field, as the great Hank Stram would say, and score points. So I think that Georgia is going to do that. They're going to stuff Tennessee's run game, force Tennessee to put the ball more in the air more than, they're actually comfortable with, of all things. And you're going to see Keely, Ringo, Lassiter, other defensive backs at Tennessee or at Georgia really step up, make big plays. And, I think that Georgia goes and puts Tennessee in a bad spot quickly and is able to hold on to the game and prevent Tennessee's offense from, dictating the game. And it will allow the Georgia crowd to begin to take effect the more times the offense goes 3 and out, the more question marks you have in a tempo offense, the worse you're off. So that's my game of the week. I have Georgia beating Tennessee 42-28. For my Heisman contenders, C.J. Stroud, they're playing a team that doesn't matter. They're going Northwestern. So C.J. Stroud will throw for 500 yards or just 200 because it'll be over before it starts. Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, they need to have Heisman-level games this week to win. Max Duggan, he deserves Heisman contention. He's the heart, soul, brains, body, and right arm of the TCU team. And if he continues to win and that team continues to win, that man deserves to be in New York. Chase Brown for Illinois, he runs the ball about 500 times a game for about 2 yards a pop, which, that works. If it works for them, then it works. And since he is the engine of an undefeated team, of a one-loss team that has won 7 straight, he deserves Heisman consideration. And of course, my dark horse pick is Jaden Daniels. He beats Bama this week. He will be in Heisman contention, just because it's a big win. I mean, the last LSU quarterback to beat Alabama won the Heisman. I wonder who that guy's name was. So I'm just gonna go. That's my Heisman picks of our Tarsuta service, and then for my G5 game of the week, instead of a game of the WEAK, I have my game of the week for the G5, UTSA and UAB. I vacillated between this being a high-scoring or low-scoring affair, so I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm going to say it's going to be 38-31 with the Roadrunners beating the Dragons of UAB in what should be an exciting, high-octane offensive affair. Sorry,
all right.
Dominated the
Use
conversation
a bunch of big
there,
words,
guys.
including vacillate. We are all now on a lower level than Hunter. Thank you, Hunter. You got time? You got a few minutes to hang out, bud?
Yeah, I got 5 or so.
Well, we got to give Jude some time to talk about Jude's cool takes.
Yeah, I'll be here for it.
Jude, hit me with some stuff, man.
I've got 2 contenders this week, and they're both playing in the same game. And I think they both remain contenders regardless of the outcome, as long as Georgia doesn't get blown out. I think if it's a close game, Tennessee's still a contender. The only way it's not Georgia doesn't remain a contender in my eyes is that if Tennessee blows out Georgia, they can probably fall out of the contenders list. And the pretenders, I'm going to talk about a team that I've gone only one game again, but it's a team that I've gone back and forth on all year, and one team that has been a pretender for the better part of the year. Notre Dame is a pretender. Everyone had high hopes for them being in the top 5 when the season started, and they're playing Clemson, who ultimately, man, they're probably going to destroy Notre Dame because I'm going back. This is the way I'm going with them. I'm going with them being a pretender again. They seem to be a pretender when I think they're good and a contender when I think they're bad. But this week I think they're pretenders, and I think Notre Dame wins that game 28-24. I did not give a score for the Tennessee and Georgia game yet, but I'm gonna. I think that Georgia is going to be the best defense that Tennessee has seen to date. But I think that the Hooker and Hyatt connection are going to pull it out. And I'm taking Tennessee to win 31-20.
Whoa.
So that's my pick. I don't have really let's see what else. Heisman is still Stroud, Hooker, and then my dark horse is Jalen Hyatt. Practice just let out, guys. I'm going to mute myself. You guys go ahead and talk. You can hear all the background noise.
All right. Well, that brings me to my games to watch. I got a few games to watch. What to watch week 10. So a game that I think a lot of people need to watch is this number 6 LSU number 6 Alabama versus number 10 LSU. We also have Texas going to Manhattan, Kansas, and taking on K-State. Now, K-State has mollywopped a few teams here and there. I don't think that K-State gets away with this one this week. And K-State may take an L at home because it seems like the Longhorns have figured out the purple curse in recent years. Alabama and LSU, I'm going to give the edge to Alabama because Alabama has the best quarterback in this matchup. I know Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback, but he's not Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is a top 5 NFL pick. And, I think he's probably out of the Heisman race at this point, but he's still a strong pick in the NFL draft. And Alabama is still a team with contention written all over it. So this is basically going to set the West. Whoever wins this game is probably going to lead the West into the SEC championship game. And then also, much like Lindsay, I have Wake Forest traveling to North Carolina State and taking on the Wolfpack. In this game, I'm going to lean with Wake Forest. Sam Hartman can't have 2 bad games in a row. It's just not possible. And, that's my opinion on that. Now, I put in some upsets this week. I thought there's going to be some upset people this week, and let's start with them. And I agreed with Jude on one of them. I think Florida State goes to Miami, and they're going to take the L versus Jeff Garcia's son. And Miami's going to get the W against Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles. I think that Clemson's going to travel to Notre Dame, and they're going to take an L against Notre Dame. And this is why. Notre Dame can do the one thing that Clemson has struggled the entire year with, and Notre Dame can run the ball right in your face. And I think that Clemson's going to have a really hard time with that, and the offense is going to be off the field, and you're going to see bad DJU. The less DJU is on the field, the less continuity he gets, the less rhythm he gets, the less he's going to be able to play.
I think it's awesome that we came up with good DJU, bad DJU. I think that was Hunter, but that's awesome.
And look, these are all original thoughts. None of us have spoken in advance about anything except for the game of the week. We all agreed that Tennessee and Georgia was the game of the week.
100%.
All of our picks and predictions are 100% organic. They all come from each one of us independently. Nobody has influenced anybody else. And then finally, number 23, Oregon State travels to Washington. And Washington's going to pull off the W versus number 23, Oregon State. Now, this is a 9:30 game on Friday night. So when you guys are sitting around on Friday nights and you're wanting something to watch, you're going to watch Oregon State lose to Washington. So those are my upset picks of the week. I think there's going to be some upset people. We've talked about that. Let's get to the game of the week. We all know what it is. It's Tennessee at Georgia. This is number 1 Tennessee. We're going to go by the CFP rankings from here forward. We will bring in the AP top 25, but we're not going to make it a mandatory. We're going to go off of the CFP because that's what counts. That's what leads you to the postseason. We have number 1 Tennessee. They're traveling to Athens, Georgia. It's an incredibly tough place to play. Georgia's got a great run defense. Georgia's got a great pass defense. I think Georgia's going to run into a huge problem. And what makes the difference in a lot of games is confidence at the quarterback position. And I don't think I think Hendon Hooker could serve confidence to everybody on the team. I think he's got that Vince Young type esque to him right now, where he makes everybody around him that much better. Hendon Hooker is playing at an exceptional level. And I think there's only 2 contenders in the Heisman race. And one plays at Tennessee and the other plays at Ohio State. Everybody else is just pretending to be Heisman hopefuls. If Tennessee goes in, and I say if, because Georgia, like I said, is the top defense in the country. I don't think there's a better defense who's played better competition. You know, somebody may have better numbers, but Georgia has skins on the wall. With that said, I think that Georgia is gonna really hold Tennessee back. But with Hendon Hooker, I think Hendon Hooker's playing on another level. He's just oozing confidence. Tennessee goes in Athens, Georgia. They pull down the W, 24-17. And that is my prediction on that game. Now, you can watch this game on CBS. It's going to be a 2:30 kickoff, Central Standard Time. So you know where Hunter and I are going to be. We're going to be glued to the television. And I promise you, this guy below me right here, he got accepted to Georgia. So you know who's pulling for Georgia, right? There's no doubt in my mind who's pulling for Georgia. So I, on the other hand, is going to go with that other UT team, and I'm going to go with the old Rocky Top. Take a Rocky Top, 24-17. House divided.
Yeah. Wow. I think panel divided too.
Yeah.
I think it was
But you know, that's what makes it fun. We can sit here, we can talk about it, we can have some fun. It's not, it's not the end of the world. All right, now I did come up with a group of 5 game of the week. Group of 5 game of the week. I think I'm gonna make somebody's day here. My group of 5 game of the week is Texas State at UL Monroe. I think Texas State is due for a win, but they're not going to get it this week. UL Monroe is going to beat Texas State handily. Texas State is going to make a firm decision on their coaching after this season. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to just not re-sign Jake Spavital. Jake Spavital is not coming back. A name to look for is a former Texas quarterback, believe it or not. Former Texas quarterback. But he didn't make his name in Texas. He made his name where, son? Where did he go to college? Where did he finish college?
And I hate that I don't remember right off the top of my head.
Worcester Polytech, I think, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, I don't think G.J. Kinney went to Worcester Poly.
I think he went to Tulsa, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's Tulsa.
Channeling Tulsa. So there's a name to look out. A coaching prospect. You heard it first here at Wide Right CFB. G.J. Kinney. He's a former Texas high school football quarterback. He is a current head coach at the where, Hunter?
University of Incarnate Word.
University of Incarnate Word, and he's going to lead his team to victory. So,
yeah.
All right, I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm going to let you talk amongst y'all too about it, or amongst y'all real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, UIW currently has the best offense in Division I college football, including FBS and FCS. They average something like 50-plus points a game. Just ridiculous numbers. They have really great passing offense. And there's been a lot of chatter in San Marcos about maybe him being the next coach of the Bobcats. So just a little bit of insight on that. Unfortunately, I got to go. We're getting kind of busy here. So it's been nice talking to y'all. Nice talking to the panel. Y'all all have good days. And then we'll see y'all Saturday night.
Bye, man. Go get him.
All right, Hunterman. Have a good night. Be safe. We'll see you Saturday.
So, Jude, on your take on the Tennessee-Georgia game,
yeah,
how do you see Tennessee's rather poor pass defense playing into the game this weekend?
That's the one part of the game that scares me, but I think it's going to be an adrenaline thing, and I think that Tennessee is going to have a time of possession edge, which will keep Georgia's offense off of the field, and that'll help their defense stay rested, and that'll help compensate for their lack of pass defense. That's I don't know. It's kind of how I see it going, because Tennessee's very ball dominant. Like they'll hit you and hit you and hit you with the run, and then they'll throw a pass, and then hit you and hit you and hit you with the run. And as long as they keep getting first downs, they keep Georgia's offense off the field. So I'm hoping that's how it plays out. I think that's probably the only way it's going to have to play out, because if Georgia they play the same way, man, they just play downhill. They're in the top 10 in passing and scoring offense and scoring defense. I don't think Tennessee's in the top of the scoring defensive category. They're just going to have to really, really, really rely on ball control.
I think it's going to be very interesting to look at after the game what the stats are and see what time of possession was for both teams. That's going to be a very interesting statistic.
This is my stat of the week: yards after contact. Whoever has the most yards after contact will be the victor, or yards after catch. We could call it yak, but anyways, all right. Where are we
yards after catch, man. I promise you, that's going to be as a team Tennessee and as a player Jay and Hyatt. Man, that dude, he just needs 2 feet in between two defenders, and he can go 70 yards. Man, that dude's pretty bad.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a little time out here, and then we'll wrap up the show after that. Let's talk about White Right CFB's 500 subscriber-ish giveaway. Now, you have to be a subscriber of White Right CFB to qualify for this. You're going to have to watch the video of the morning of the Heisman and comment on that video. So if there's only 3 commenting on it, there's only 3 chances to win, or only 3 potential winners. So you got to watch. You got to be a subscriber. You got to leave a comment. You got to leave a thumbs up. You got to like White Right CFB. So what are you going to win? You're going to win 2 shirts of your choice. Women, men, extra large, double extra large, triple extra large. Doesn't matter. White Right CFB is going to hook you up. You're also going to win a football signed by most of the White Right CFB cast and crew. Most. Actually, it'll be all of us. Probably including Christian, too. That might be a signature worth holding on to. You're also going to win not 1, but 2 $50 gift cards to Buffalo Wild Wings. So if you like T-shirts, you like footballs, and you like White Right CFB, you're also going to like Buffalo Wild Wings. Please get some friends in there. Subscribe. Join. You have a very high probability of winning. With all of us who have all our burner accounts already subscribed to White Right CFB, you could be an actual winner. So make sure you do that. All right. Let's get to the comments. We've neglected the comments for the last 57 minutes. Let's start at the top. Let's say hi to Diabolical 58.
That's funny.
Pat Paulson. How's it going? Bryce Birkenstein. Raging Cajun Trucking Garage. Thanks for watching. Schmitty71. One of my favorite people in the chat. Smitty, if anybody's going to watch a great video or a great Instagram, you got to go check out Schmitty71 on Instagram. The guy is money. You know how Lindsay's money with the picks? Doug's money with car repairs. So if you want to learn something, watch something really cool, and watch a guy that has a wide range of knowledge, you got to go bump over there and watch Schmitty71 over there on Instagrams.
And if you go today, you'll see an up close and personal look at his SAE wrench drawer, as today was Wrench Wednesday, and he shared that.
There you go. Thanks, Doug, for sharing that. So we cover a lot of everything. Tools, football, some football, just the normal stuff. So, all right. Well, I guess that's going to about wrap it up tonight. Unless you fine fellas have anything to say.
I got one more prediction.
All right. Hit us with it, Jude.
I think that the winner of our 50 or 500-ish subscriber giveaway is there's a very good chance that it's going to be Diabolical 58, Schmitty71, Raging Cajun Garage, and Buckeye, number 1 Buckeye.
Now, look, this is a professional setup. The randomizer is going to
as long as they get up that Saturday and watch a video. I mean, there's a 1 in 4 chance. I'm pretty sure that one of those four guys are going to win. Also, I'm going to pick up the ball this weekend and mail it to you guys. It's college football, so you want the college football, the NCAA football, right?
Just make sure you sign it.
Yeah. And do you want me? He was on like 2 or 3 episodes. Do you want me to send it to Joey? Get him to sign it too?
Absolutely. Joey's part of the crew.
Yeah, I know.
He was messaging me earlier. We're gonna get Joey back on. Don't worry. We're gonna have Joey and Hunter on at the same time. I think I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
Now he's stressing out that his signature is not going to be pretty enough. Cool.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap us. You got anything else, Jude or Lindsay?
Just thanks for having me on. It was a fun stream. We're once again, I want to thank Hunter for absolutely killing it on the actual analytics when it comes to college football, because I mean he is on it. I love Lindsay's picks. Lindsay's picks are great, and I know who Cass is going to pick. So he always picks the right team. But that being said, you can't spell SEC without SC. Fight on, guys. See you next week.
All right, Lizzie, what do you got for us, bud? Thanks for joining us. I know you're a little under the weather.
That's all right. I'm
Thanks for
feeling good
sticking
enough
it
now.
out the whole time.
Another day or two will be 100%. But I wanted to thank everyone, as always, in the chat for joining in. And if you weren't in the chat, if you were watching, thank you. We appreciate the viewership. We appreciate the participation in the chat. Please get involved. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Tell your friends and family. It'd be fun to grow this channel a bit. Let's make that giveaway something to be proud of at the end of the year. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Nice. I like it. All right. Are y'all ready for the alternative ending? Alternative ending. Judy, you ready for this alternative ending?
Absolutely.
All
Been
right.
waiting for it.
All right. Roses are red. The Pacific is blue. USC streak ended it too.
Oh, man. I was not ready for that.
Oh, he made it personal.
Wow.
Oh, all right. On to the regular streak. As always, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank Jude, Lindsay, Hunter for being on the panel. Everybody that was in the comments and left a comment, and everybody that watches after the fact. Believe it or not, we actually have a lot of people that watch the stream after the fact. So I want to thank everybody that did that. And remember, the team that scores the most points always wins the game. Thanks for watching.